Ja, correct. हाँ भाई कभी नहीं। अच्छा ये स्टार्ट आपने नहीं नहीं पहले ठीक है मैं आपको वेलकम ठीक है 2 मिनट का रेसिटेशन ऑफ द कुरान फिर इंडिजिनस प्रेयर फिर नेशनल। अच्छा इनको मैं बस ये प्रैक्टिस करा रही है ना बस नहीं सर इन्होंने की हुई है। अच्छा वैसे उनको रिहर्सल कराने के लिए नहीं नहीं मैं कहता हूँ जब वो आएगी ना इन्हीं पोजीशन रखनी है। हाँ हाँ ये नहीं आपने तो ये इन्होंने हिलना नहीं बच्चों ने आपकी पोजीशन जिस तरह सेट हुई मेयर आ रहा है। अच्छा ठीक है अच्छा ओके आपके साथ है नहीं नहीं एक ही बात मैं अभी उनसे पूछा था मैं इसको आगे पीछे कर लेता यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है ना चलो मैं उनसे बात करूँ वो है पेन है पेन पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं आप यार टेक्नोलॉजी वाला ज़माना टेक्नोलॉजी वाला ठीक है ले यार फर्क नहीं पड़ता फोटो हो जाएगी वहाँ से आप एक फोटो लेके देखिए यहाँ से फोटो ठीक है आपके शोल्डर स्पीकर तो नहीं है जो उनको क्या अच्छा जब एंथम हो जाएगा इनको लगा देना तो हाँ बैठे रहेंगे निकाल देना स्लोली इनको वॉक करके ले जाए ये मिर्सा से बात होगी ना आपकी हाँ ये वो सजीद अहमद कर लेगा हाँ तो हाफिज सजीद अहमद या नहीं हाफिज नहीं सिर्फ सजीद अहमद चलो ठीक है आप बता दें आप हाँ ठीक है ओके ठीक है
So how's it going to go?
Okay, so recitation of the Quran, and then you are the next.
Okay.
Indigenous prayer. You can stand wherever you want.
Okay.
And yeah, okay. Or sit, yeah, so as long as you're easily available.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll be number one after
Okay.
the recitation.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
And then we'll have the national anthem by the kids.
Okay.
And then I'll introduce the community.
Yeah.
And then Canada speech by Imam.
Okay.
And then by the remarks by the dignitaries.
Okay. Okay.
And then we'll have after the event we'll have a cake cutting here.
Okay.
Followed by the photographs and then barbecue outside.
Okay. And we'll eat outside?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll all go outside.
Okay.
So the barbecue is being set up outside.
Okay. Can I get a drink of pop or water or something? I'm kind of thirsty right now.
You can go out and see if they have something in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you want to say?
Hello.
Ajo. Yeah, go.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Can I have everybody's attention? May I have everybody's attention? We will be starting in 5 minutes. So I want all of the guests to come to the front and the elderly to take up their chairs. We will inshallah be starting in about 5 minutes.
Hello.
Okay, kids, we are starting. बस शुरू कर रहा हूँ 1 मिनट में
अच्छा गेस्ट को हैंड को उधर उठाने की इनको पीछे लेके
सबको पीछे खड़ा करना है ताकि खड़ा अच्छा लगता है ना ताकि शुरू कराऊँ फिर इसमें ला करके
हाँ जी देख लें उनको बता दें जो गेस्ट हैं they can come there those who need place to sit we can sit on the right hand side
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be on you all. We are starting the program. May I have everybody's attention? Assalamu alaikum. We will now start the formal proceedings of the Canada Day Celebration 2023. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings of Allah be on you. On behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at, Greater Vancouver region, it's my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the Canada Day celebration, which is the 156th birthday of Canada. So I welcome you all on behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at. May the maple leaf always fly high, symbolizing the Canadian values of peace, freedom, and inclusivity. As it is an Islamic tradition, we will start the proceedings with the recitation of the Holy Quran. And for the recitation of the Holy Quran, I'll request Mr. Sajil Ahmed to do a recitation of the Quran and its English translation. Mr. Sajil Ahmed. इसको करीम करना है थोड़ा सा ठीक है ऐसे तीन केक रख दो तू तीन रख दो
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ameen.
Now the English translation of the verses just recited. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, all praise belongs to Allah, Lord of all the worlds. The gracious, the merciful, Master of the day of judgment. Thee alone do we worship, and Thee alone do we implore for help. Guide us in the right path, the path of those on whom Thou hast bestowed Thy blessings, those who have not incurred Thy displeasure, and those who have not gone astray. Jazakumullah.
Thank you, Sajil, for your melodious recitation of the Holy Quran. Next up, I will request our great friend, Elder Kevin Barlow, to give us a blessing, an indigenous blessing. Thank you. Thank you.
Waligis nogmadud, begumuxio, begumuxio, begumuxio. Walazigis bejidayo, nindeluzit maktueg moon gaamet kulumpisun. I spoke to you in my language. I am a Mi'kmaq person from the east coast of Canada, where Europeans first arrived here. And I greeted you in my language and I said, my relatives, it is good that you are here. And we talk that way because despite us being from different walks of life and different races, different religious backgrounds, we are all related. That's the belief of most Indigenous people and cultures, you know. And so I'd like to talk to you just briefly about Canada's history on this day of Canada Day. So as I said, I'm from the East Coast, and when Europeans first came here, they arrived very sick. They could barely make the winters here, and they arrived with scurvy. They just were in really bad shape. And my people helped them. My people helped them settle on this land, taught them how to survive. And that's why the treaties that we signed in the East under King George were all called peace and friendship treaties. We never gave up land. We never gave up rights. We just said, let's live together in peace and friendship. Now, obviously, something went wrong, you know, because as soon as enough people came here, then we started being put onto reserves. Disease came and caused a lot of loss. And then, of course, residential schools and those kind of things. So on this day that we mark as Canada Day, I'm okay with Canada Day as an Indigenous person. But I use these opportunities to tell everyone that we've had a past, a history that isn't all that great, you know. But we can't change the past. We can change how we live today, and we can create a different future where all of us can walk together and respect one another for the differences that we have, whether that's religious, ethnic, or otherwise, you know. So that's my blessing for you today on this Canada Day, that we just find a way of standing up for one another, because I really believe what's happening and what we see when we see people attack mosques, when we see people go into universities and stabbing people and killing people, these are the things that we want to stamp out. We need to come together to kind of make sure that these things are not tolerated in our country, you know. And so we need to push our voice forward to the elected officials to say, when people do that and they go before the courts, give them the harshest penalty possible so that they get the lesson that it's not okay, that we're not going to tolerate that as a society, you know. And so on this day that we come together to say, yes, this is a great country, we can say these things, we can be critical even of the government without being shot or put in prison or anything like that. Those are the freedoms that we have. And I notice that there are veterans here that represent this, the people that fought for this country. I have 2 uncles that fought in the Second World War. And I have many relatives that are in the RCMP and the other forces, you know. And so that's an example of how Indigenous people are part of the society. We are the original landowners, but we are part of this society, and I think we can learn a lot from our Indigenous people, like the elders and stuff like that. So that's my blessing for you, and I thank you all for always inviting me to these events. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elder Kevin Barlow. Next up, we will have the national anthem of Canada. So our young team of girls and boys, they will now sing the national anthem for everyone.
You hold this one, okay?
Okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, to praise you love in
big hand for all of them. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you.
Here. Move them around. Okay, guys. Thank you very much, kids. Next up, for the benefit of our guests who are joining us for the first time, I will read out allow me to read out to you a brief introduction of Ahmadiyya Muslim community. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community are the Muslims who believe in the Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, peace be upon him, as Messiah and Mahdi. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad founded the Ahmadiyya movement in 1889 as a revival movement within Islam, emphasizing its essential teachings of peace, love, justice, and sanctity of life. Today, Ahmadiyya Muslim community spans over 200 countries with membership in tens of millions. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community believes that God sent Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad to end religious wars, condemn bloodshed, and restore morality, justice, and peace. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad reminded Muslims of God's promise to safeguard Islam through the Khilafat, that is the spiritual institution of successorship to prophethood. 5 Khulafa have succeeded Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad since his demise in 1908. The current Khalifa, His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, resides in the United Kingdom and serves as the community's spiritual as well as administrative head. Under the dynamic leadership of the Khilafat, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has built over 16,000 hospitals, mosques, 600 schools, and 30 hospitals worldwide, mostly in Africa and Asian countries. It has translated the Holy Quran in over 70 languages. It stands at the forefront of disaster relief worldwide through Humanity First, which is our charity of the Ahmadiyya community. Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at promotes interfaith harmony. In fact, the founder of the community himself was a great champion of this cause. He engaged with different faith groups through constructive dialogues, promoted respect and tolerance among all faiths and religions. In Canada, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat was formally established in 1966. In the last 50 plus years, the community has been actively promoting interfaith dialogue among all faith communities and undertaking multiple charity initiatives. The community annually organizes runs across Canada to raise much needed funds for health care facilities, collecting millions of pounds of food for food banks across Canada, and holding blood clinics to collect blood for the Canadian Blood Services. In fact, today you would see behind you a booth set up by the Canadian Blood Services. Our next event would be on Saturday, August 12th, where there will be a blood clinic here in the mosque, which will be open to general public, and feel free to sign up for it. And then our charity run, which is the Run for Delta, where we collect funds for the Surrey, Delta Hospital Foundation and the Surrey Food Bank, will be on September 17th. So we have 2 events coming up back to back in August and September. With that, ladies and gentlemen and brothers and sisters, allow me to welcome our local MP for Delta and the Honorable Carla Qualtro, who is also the Minister of Employment, Workforce Development, and Disability Inclusion. Let's join me in welcoming Carla.
Hello, everyone, and happy Canada Day. Happy Canada. You guys were so good. Can we give these guys, you guys, they're singers. They're just our choir. You were just excellent. Thank you. Once again, it's my pleasure to appreciate the opportunity to gather here today on Canada Day as we both celebrate the greatness and the potential of our country and also acknowledge the work that yet to be done, the hard work. To right the wrongs of the past, but also to continue to work to build an even greater Canada, where we continue to value inclusion and equality and diversity, where we continue to welcome everyone from around the world, because we know as Canadians that adds richness and it adds something magical to the fabric of our country. We are a welcoming and open country, and the audience before me is reflective of all of that. I want to say thank you and acknowledge all of the representatives from City Council of Delta and Surrey, MLAs from both Delta and Surrey, my colleague from the House of Commons, Suk Dhaliwal, who is such a champion for Surrey and Delta, for your community, for every community that we represent here on the west coast of Canada. In Ottawa, Suk is a fighter, and he fights for all of you and he fights for all of us. So thank you, Suk, for being here. Once again, everybody, happy Canada Day. Excellent singing. My favorite part of the day is to listen to you guys sing. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, always hold dear in your heart what a great country we live in, but also remember that that didn't happen by accident, and there is still work to be done. And as imperfect as our country is, it is absolutely the best place in the world to call home. So happy Canada Day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carla, for your great comments. Next up, I would like to invite another friend of our community who's been a long friend of us, who's been with us for over 20 years, our honorable member for Surrey Newton, MP Suk Dhaliwal. So I would now request MP Suk Dhali Sahab to come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum, and I would love to wish you a happy Eid Mubarak as well, because we recently were celebrating, and today we are celebrating Canada Day, and very happy Canada Day to you all. And I'm very honored, in fact always proud to serve along with the Honorable Carla Quattro in the House of Commons, working together as a team to bring in a change or bring in a difference in people's life, whether it's Delta, Surrey, or across Canada. When it comes to Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at, I was introduced to Jama'at long before I got elected as a member of parliament in 2006 first time. And I can tell you, the support and the love that I received from this community and the work that Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at does from coast to coast to coast to make our country a better country and make our society a better society. I want to thank you, and I want to wish you the very best. And today, as we all came together to honor the rich Canadian heritage, to embrace the diversity and celebrate the values that we hold very near to us, the values of equality, diversity, justice, and freedom for all. And I can tell you, our veterans have played a key role to make sure that today we stand here as a free and equal society. So, on behalf of my constituents, my family, I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy Canada Day and very best to you as a Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at doing the great work. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you, Brother Suk, for your wonderful comments. Next up, I would like to invite another friend of the community who has been with us for a long time, who's been a community friend for over 20 plus years, our local MLA for Surrey Newton, Honorable Harry Baines, who's the Minister of Labour for the province of British Columbia. Honorable Harry Baines.
Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum. And I want to begin by acknowledging that we are on the territory of Coast Salish people. And we just finished celebrating Eid. So I want to wish everyone Eid Mubarak. And happy Canada. I don't know, I came here in 1971, and every now and then I pinch myself, do I really live in Canada? I mean, this is such a beautiful, a welcoming and peaceful country. Day in and day out, you realize how fortunate you are to live in this country. This is the country that we inherited. And people before us worked hard to give us the country that we have. I think on days like this, I also like to say that it is our duty to make sure that the Canada that we leave behind for our children is even better Canada. It is more peaceful, more equal, and it is more just Canada. Because that's what Canada is all about. If you just look around, that's what the Canada's face is. And there's no other Canada. And so I just want to say thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for inviting us on this very, very special day. And I also like to acknowledge there are a couple of my colleagues here from the House. Eleanor Sturco's here, over there from South Surrey, and Ginny Sims, our MLA from Panorama is here. And I just want to say thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day. This is our Canada. We want to make it even a better Canada tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Harry. Thank you very much for your wonderful comments. Next up, I would like to introduce another great friend of our community who has been with who has been part of our endeavors throughout. Our local MLA for Surrey Panorama, Mrs. Ginny Sims, who has been had the honor of visiting London and meeting Hazur as well. So, Mrs. Ginny Sims.
I'm going to do it without the mic. Without the mic.
Okay. That's okay. You can leave it here. Thank you, Mrs. Jenny Sims. And next up, I would like to invite Honorable Jagroop Barar, who's our Minister of State for Trade and MLA for Surrey Fleetwood. Mr. Jagroop Barar.
Yeah, it's hard to follow Jenny Sims, you know. Happy Canada Day to everyone. Happy Canada Day. Today, the people of British Columbia and people of Canada are celebrating Canada Day. We are very fortunate. We are blessed to live in the most beautiful country on the earth we call Canada. A country that truly believes in justice, equality, and fairness for all Canadians. Country built by the people who came before us on the fundamental values of human rights, democracy, and peace. So today is a day to celebrate and also say thank you to the people who came before us, who dedicated their lives to build this beautiful country for us. Today is also the day to make the commitment to make this country even more beautiful for everyone, so that our future generations can enjoy this country and live in this country peacefully, happily, and all that. So I would like to conclude by saying, on behalf of Honorable Premier Eby, our NDP team, I wish all of you, the people of British Columbia and people of Canada, Happy Canada Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jagroop. Next up, I would like to invite MLA Eleanor Sturko from South Surrey. MLA Sturko. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Canada Day, everybody. You know, my family first came to Canada in 1907 and 1913 from Ukraine. So I'm a second-generation Canadian, and I'll just tell you a really quick little story, is that I was a little one, maybe about your guys' age, and I was in an arena, and we lived in Weyburn, Saskatchewan at the time, and I saw a Canada flag was hanging on the wall. And I asked my mom, what is that on the wall? And she said, that's a Canada flag. And I said, but why is it there? And she said, because we're Canadian. And I said, well, why are we Canadian? And she just simply said, because we're lucky. We're lucky to be Canadian. And I've always remembered that. From the time I was a little kid, I served in uniform in Canada twice. I'm an Air Force veteran, I'm an RCMP veteran, and now I'm a public servant, and I serve the community in the legislature in Surrey South. I'm so proud of the country that we have. I'm so proud of the communities that we serve. I want to thank you on Canada Day for your generosity. I know how generous your community is, the Muslim community. Not only feeds this community in Delta, but you feed people all around the world. And you share the abundance that we have here in Canada. So I want to wish each and every one of you a happy Canada Day. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for inviting me to celebrate this day with you. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and every day can be Canada Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MLA Sturko. Next up, I would like to invite our local community friends from Delta, who are in fact our co-hosts of this program as well. So first up, I would like to invite His Worship George Harvey, the Mayor of City of Delta. Mayor Harvey. And his team.
Oh, thank you so much. What a great day today's been. With me from Delta Council is Jesse Dosange, Rod Binder, and Dylan Kruger. I want to talk about Delta. Our council, myself as mayor, we're committed to ensuring and continuing to ensure that everyone is welcome in our great city. Everyone. There is no time or place for any hate in our community. We've experienced some over the last couple of months. It's not acceptable. We're working very hard to ensure that we're providing support for everybody who needs it. We're also really happy about the number of people that are coming to our country from the Ukraine and other areas. And when I was just recently in Europe, and when I said I was from Canada, everybody knows about Canada. Everybody. They know that we're a great nation. They know that we're welcoming. And today also reminds me of when I was a young child. My father came from Scotland with his parents when he was 10. My grandparents came from the Ukraine also, in Kyiv. And my heart just goes out to the people that are in the Ukraine right now. So I hope everybody here realizes how lucky we are. We are so fortunate. I want to also just say that we're so grateful for the mosques to be here in Delta. You've really made a difference for us. You've made our community stronger. And as council, and myself as mayor, and with Chief DeBoard, who unfortunately just had to leave, we'll always be here for you. So thank you and enjoy this great day. We are one of the best places, if not the best places in the earth here, as somebody said before, but we are the best city, Delta, here. And finally, we have the best neighbor, Surrey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Worship and your team, for honoring us with your kind words. Next up, I would invite our friend from Surrey City Council, Councillor Linda Ennis, who's been with us for a long time as well. Councillor Linda Ennis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to make one small correction. Surrey is the best city. Delta is a great neighbor. Seriously, thank you so much for having us here today. Both myself and my colleague, Councillor Mike Bowes, are honored to be here. We visited the mosque many times, and today is a very special day to celebrate Canada Day. One of the things that I love most about Canada, there's so many things, but is our cultural diversity and the fact that we've all come from so many different places, including myself. I'm a second-generation immigrant, and my family came here to make a better life, and how fortunate was I to be the beneficiary of their hard work. And only in Canada do we get these kinds of opportunities. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. Have a happy Canada Day, and I love the kids singing "Oh Canada." Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Next up, our very old and great friend, Chief Neil DeBoard, Chief Constable of Nelta Police Department, our friend Neil DeBoard. I would request Mr. Neil DeBoard to come and say a few words. Has he left already? Chief Neil DeBoard. He's left? Okay. Thank you. I guess he had some other engagements. Next up, I would like to request Mr. Brian Reid from the Royal Canadian Legion to come and address. Mr. Brian Reid and his team.
Wow, how do you follow all that? I believe we live in the best country in the world. I believe that the Legion is inclusive of everyone, no matter what. And I believe that we are on track to be a model for the world on diversity, on race, on ethnicity. I know we got work to do, but today is a day for celebration. Thank you very much for inviting us. We help out with all the veterans. We also help out with the community on everything, and everyone is welcome at every Royal Canadian Legion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian, for your kind words. The final speaker for tonight would be our Vice President, Mr. Azhar Chaudhry, I would request him to come and say give his closing thoughts and lead us in the silent prayer. After, to let everybody know, after the formal proceedings are finished, we will have a cake cutting ceremony by all the dignitaries, and we'll also have group photos here. So we will have the cake cutting and group photos afterwards.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. I just want to mention that our local president, Mr. Lakhan, is in an online meeting with our national president. It was a pre-scheduled meeting, so that's why I'm here for. So as a first-generation Canadian, I can say countless things about Canada, how blessed we are that we live in a country like Canada. But I would like to share a very small incident of my son who was born here. So many years ago, I took them to visit several countries over the period of few months. So when we got back, he was about 6-7 years old at that time. So he was drinking tap water and said, "I love Canada." So I said, "Why?" He said, "Water tastes so good here." So, I just want to share this, but people who don't step outside Canada, they don't sometimes realize or recognize that how blessed we are as a Canadian. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the guests, every member who took time and being part of this wonderful celebration, especially our esteemed guests. And I would like to say that we appreciate your presence here on all occasions. Whenever we invite you, you spare time. I know it was a very busy day for you, but thank you for taking the time and being here. Thank you, our kids, and thank you, our volunteers who are working behind the scene very quietly, and especially our youth who is preparing barbecue for us. And now we will conclude this program with a silent prayer. And of course, we will pray for Canada. But I would like to make a special request. Please remember every family, Canadian family, in your prayers, because these are difficult times. Inflation is very high, and some families are struggling. So please remember them. They need your prayers more than ever. So please remember them in your prayers. So, and guests, please feel free to do the prayers the way you would like to. And I would like all the members to please join me in silent prayer. So join me in silent prayer. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much. Now we will have the cake cutting. So if I could request all the dignitaries and other friends to come and join us. Honorable Harry Baines, Honorable Jagrup Brar, Sukh Zaliwal, Linda, Honorable Carla, our city team, His Worship the Mayor and the team. एक केक और लाते हैं वहाँ से लाया था यार एक केक और आ सकता है एक और you have some cake.
Okay, we just got out of that Salmon Festival.
Okay, yeah, I know you have
You had a nice banner up there.
Yeah, and I could.
I know, so we represented you there.
Yeah, well, you always can represent me. Yeah, sure. Where are the vegan friends? You can join us for cake cutting also. Yeah, people would like to have photos with you too. Walaikum salam, brother, how are you? Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I wanted them to be coming to the cake cutting also. So that just a quick announcement. After the cake cutting, we will have the barbecue outside. So all people are requested to proceed outside for the barbecue. So after cake cutting, we will have a barbecue. And feel free to have photos taken with the dignitaries if you want. Please come join. I want all three of you to come. Huh?
No, I don't need anything.
Yeah, मैं sound engineer hire करने की लोड़ है. Assalamu alaikum. Barbecue is ready. So after having your cake, you guys can all proceed outside to have enjoy the barbecue. And I request all the dignitaries to join for the barbecue as well.
I told them they wanted a picture. They went over there to eat their cake.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah. And after that we have barbecue. Don't worry. There are lots of opportunities.
We have to go back because we have another event at 6 o'clock.
Oh, we have plenty of time. Okay. Oh, yeah. So this is only 5, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 1 full hour. Yeah. So we'll be barbecue already. Ready to serve. Have a bite. The barbecue is ready. You can take it. Let's go. Good. You guess